Include your audio now. Okay, welcome to ANZCRL's Le Mans 24 Hours for 2020. We've just finished our 5-minute quick practice session with all the drivers. We're just missing one by the looks of things there, but we've got this 30-minute qualifying session followed by our first hour session. And we've got Maddie Seekin in the commentary with me for this first session. Welcome, Maddie.
Thank you, Woody. How are you all today? It's going to be
we're
good
firing.
race.
Yeah, definitely. So now we're just straight into qualifying. We're missing Timmy at the moment in one of the second Porsche GTE cars. Hopefully he can sort himself out to join in. But I'm sure this session with about 10 minutes to go should start firing with some very quick times.
Yeah, expecting low 320s, in the teens, to be honest. Teens would probably get you a good start, especially for the LMPHs.
Yeah, and maybe we're looking at 353s or something like that for the GTEs for pole.
Yeah, easily. Yep.
Jetto's been a man that's been fairly fast in the Caprol number 26 Chevrolet Corvette.
Yeah, that Corvette's quick down the straight, nice grunting down as well. Very low sound they do, very different from the rest of the cars.
It looks like we've just got Timmy just joining in, which is good news.
I think we've lost the BMW. Oh, that BMW's back in.
Yeah, so we've got 10 there on my screen there, so that's good news. We've got 10 entries. We've got 4 LMPHs. We've got in the number 1 Porsche hybrid is Knight Pegasus 120 doing it solo because unfortunately his teammate Paro 666 has had some issues with his hardware, his steering wheel, so Knight Pegasus is trying to do the full 6 hours on his own in the 4 sessions. Then we got in the number 6 Premier Motorsport Toyota hybrid, both myself, Woody Lizard and Lockie 55s, who's currently out there doing the first session for us. And two of the race favourites we've got in the number 7 A&M Racing Audi, which is the Aussie Carters and Got Gecko, with currently Got Gecko doing the first session for those guys in that Audi R18.
Oh, a bit wild there.
The other race favourite is Dark Racing 40 with Sado 15 in the number 8 Audi Sport Team Yoast Audi 18.
It's like he's locked up.
Sado's
same there.
Just trying to test those limits. It doesn't look like any damage. We've got full damage on settings for this race now. During the practice sessions, if people watched us, we actually had the damage off, just so it didn't ruin any test programs the guys were running. But it's full on now with real life assists, all that sort of stuff. They're all forced into the cockpit. This session here we're looking at, it's at 5 PM and we'll be finishing at 7:30 for the half an hour running. So we've got ×5 time progression. Clear skies. We might just see some cloud come through near the end as well, Maddie. So we'll just keep an eye on that.
Yeah, definitely. Are we expecting rain or leave this dry?
No rain at all.
No rain.
No rain. We had rain last year.
Looks luscious out there already. We don't need the rain.
No, they've had plenty of rain before the event, so they're very happy out here. The Circuit de la Sarthe, or whatever they call it. So it's actually in very nice conditions out there.
Yeah, looks good. Green racing should be really good. I do expect some whippersnipping happening around Porsche curves, so definitely keep an eye on that.
Yeah, just see what happens with all the grit and stuff that comes up on the track. So as the track rubbers in, we should see those times start tumbling.
go onto roof cam here and do a lap of Le Mans. Clips the curve there. It's actually interesting to know a lot of guys are actually not using that inside curve before they're kind of staying away from it.
Yeah, it could be just upsetting the car and the physics in the game, maybe. Some of the guys have been trying to stay clear of some of the curbs.
Speeds as well down this straight though. We'll definitely get the speed up and you just see the speeds there as well. 330. So probably about 50k difference between GTEs and the LMPHs. And you add your aero advantage as well.
Oh yeah,
during the race they're expecting a few close calls.
Yeah, they close the gap fairly quick. But it's the cars coming, it's the car that's overtaking the slower cars. It's their responsibility to not get in the way and not damage the car that they're overtaking. So it's all up to them to yield and make the right opportunity, make them move at the right time.
To find, especially when we get GTEs battling over position, we get an LMPH come up behind. And GT3s may use that to their advantage as well.
Yeah, well, this is what we've usually find sometimes when they're battling the GTEs. They usually try and use that to their advantage when they're trying to overtake a car and LMPH comes to overtake. They try and put themselves in a nice position to follow the LMPH car through to make that move as well at the same time when the LMPH taking their second car.
Yeah, and when you're by yourself too, you have to learn when to give away that position as well without fighting it. Sometimes it's just quicker to lose the couple tenths than it is fighting it. Lose a few seconds.
And we've already got one person disliking the Audi, saying it's a very ugly looking car, which it has. It's got all different lumps and bumps over it, but
it does.
Comment from one of our fastest members in ANZCRL, Dread
definitely
501, making that comment. Yeah, definitely. But Dread's a simple man. He doesn't need all those fancy things to make him go fast. We know that.
Just give him a steering wheel and he's fast enough.
I'll give him anything.
Staying away from the outside curve there. It's not a bad decision. You slide into the outside wall there.
I think this is a banking lap. Look at that time that got Gecko's put in a 3:16.
Yeah, that's fast. That's about 3 seconds quicker than practice.
Ooh, and there goes Sado. He's not mucking around either. They look slow through the Porsche curves.
They do.
But look at that time. He's back in the pits.
Looks like Lockie's put a 3:19 as well.
Yeah, in the Toyota, the Premier Motorsport. Number 6.
Flying the Japanese flag there, surrounded by the German rivals.
It's very interesting to hear the different sound pitches of the 3 different makes in the LMPHs.
But you can see as well that they make their strengths and weaknesses are all very different as well. They're all designed to go faster in different parts of the track, and you'd be surprised if they start pulling the same lap times.
Yeah, exactly.
GTEs and see if they're so close to a lap. Looks like we've lost
definitely a very
Gecko.
happy hour. Yeah, he was actually just sitting there, so Sado's in the pits. I'm sure that he'll be getting him back in the invite, or maybe he doesn't want to, being now faster Sado without Gecko there. But
so it looks like we've got our first GT3 times as well, 3:55. 3:56
yeah, Jetto, as
well.
we said early in that Corvette Chevrolet
Metal
Corvette.
Drive's come by on a 3:57 as well. Aston Martin's got some pace.
Yeah, I think you're looking. Yeah, through practice we were both saying that both the Capril Chevrolet and the Besmont Racing Aston Martin are probably the race favourites in the GTE class.
Yeah.
But the Porsches,
still wouldn't count out the Porsches, yeah. Oh, there goes the bollards.
Exactly. But yeah, definitely don't want to be counting them out because they're always there and ready to pounce. And it's all about buying a ticket. We've got the 4 sessions. So we've got the first session, an hour session with ×2 time progression. And then we have the second session coming up later on tonight at 7:30. That runs for 2 hours with ×5 time progression. So that'll see us make the first 12 hours of the race, and then we all go to bed. We wake up tomorrow morning and we start again at around 9 o'clock in the morning, Australian Eastern Standard Time, for another 2-hour session with ×5 time progression. And then we'll have a 2-hour break roughly before we come into our final 1-hour session around 3:20, I think it's scheduled for. And that's ×2 time progression as well. So we'll be simulating the full 24 hours pretty much in a 24-hour start of the race to the finish of the race. We're starting around 3 p.m. this afternoon and we should be finishing 3:30 p.m. tomorrow afternoon.
The BMW looked very taily through Porsche curves there.
Yeah, it did, definitely. But I found that even last night in the coverage of the night stream, that they seem to be taily. I don't know if they are, or if it's just the game showing it, but it definitely does look like they're taily.
Yeah,
Plus, they're trying to run as minimal downforce as they can to benefit down these long straights.
Yeah, definitely.
That's why I really think those
BMW
Porsche
does
curves
make
are one
some
of those
time
exciting.
does make some time through the curves as well. They're pretty good handling cars.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you can see he's turning real sharp, and it's sliding, but it's gripping up at the same time. So I'd say Wadey's got quite a bit of confidence, obviously being able to do that in that BMW.
Yeah.
In the 73 busy team.
Hit a curve wrong though, it could send you into the outside wall though. It's not hard to do in any car.
Oh, not at all. It really can bite hard, this place at Le Mans. Some people think it's an easy track. Well, it is when you're in the groove, but when something goes wrong with the high speeds, it surely comes and bites you fairly quickly.
Very technical. Hard on the car as well, to be honest.
Yeah.
Going from 330 k's down to about 60, 70 down all sun.
So we've got we heard there with CMDR Cirrus, Jetto's teammate. He's pretty excited with the time that he's seen his teammate do. Jetto, first in the GTE class at the moment.
Lights ablaze.
And he's over a second.
Looks like
we've 1.2 seconds
looks like
faster.
a little bit of an incident as well there. The front nose is pushed up a little.
Yeah, that might have been when. Oh, I don't know if they're the nose cones, but it could have actually, he might have seen the wall a little bit. So we do have the full damage. If the guys just quickly return to the pits and then come back out without having, obviously, driving in the pits with fixed damage, it seems to still show up, all the damage, until they actually physically do go into the pits and sit in the pit lane while they're fixing the damage.
Doesn't look like it's affecting his pace too much though. Maybe just a bit of light contact.
Yeah. There'll be 17 minutes remaining of this 30-minute qualifying session. I'm sure the heartbeats are starting to build in a lot of the teams and the drivers as they're trying to vie for that good grid position for the start of the race, which will be a manual formation lap. So they'll have a slow lap around, which is very hard to keep the tyre pressures and the temperatures in, isn't it, Matty? The drivers will be working hard to try and keep them in.
Yeah, expect a few weaving down the back straights, speeding up, braking hard, just keeping that temp, and especially you'll need that through Dunlop chicane.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to build. That's where a lot of people come undone after they do that formation lap, is finding they've got no brakes coming into there very quickly on the first lap. So hopefully the guys will be wary of that and try to take that a little bit more careful than normal.
And it is made to be aware though too that every car brake has a different braking marker as well. I know with the Ford GT you can brake a little bit later compared to the Corvette. It's all relative, so you do have to keep an eyes around the guys in front of you and the guys behind. Yeah,
and that's just the building of racecraft, exactly, Matty, you know, and that's what we really strongly promote here at ANZ Combined Racing League, all the Australian New Zealand races. if you are interested, come and have a look at us on
There's the
Facebook,
closing speed there of the
ANZCRL.
LPH.
Yeah, definitely. And find us in groups there on Facebook, or if you aren't on Facebook and you want to find us still, we have got a website at aus-nzcrl.weebly.com. Find us there and come and join us for all our series racing we do on the Sunday nights. And we run around about 6 to 8 special events throughout the year, just like this one, the Le Mans 24 Hours. So I hope you enjoy, and be enjoying to see your company throughout the weekend. Matty holding forth for most of the sessions. He'll be here with you for session 2, and then also back with me for the final session on Sunday, which should be very exciting. We'll see how many guys have actually bought the ticket. Yeah, to that last hour session.
Expecting guys probably running about 90%, probably the first 3 sessions, and then probably be 110% the last session. Bit of oversteer outside of the exit there, Vanage.
Yeah, Pegasus has been watching a few of our practice sessions from Thursday, Friday. He has had some trouble trying to get the power down in that Porsche. So it doesn't seem to be as lively as as it was last night. So he's obviously dialed in.
Yeah, the Porsche seems to be able to keep momentum up, especially through Porsche curves as well. It seems to actually keep a bit of higher speed, I've noticed, compared to the Audis and the Toyotas. It's actually fairly noticeable. And the car steps in. Maybe he's got that set up right. We'll have a find out. Definitely through the race, how that race pace is.
Yeah, definitely.
On the limiter there.
Yeah, I sort of mentioned to him, he seems to be, I actually gave him a little message there that it sounds like he really hammers up into that rev limiter range, which is costing him time, but he finds that that's just how he's happy to drive the car. So
the gearing is very short on a lot of those cars as well too.
Yeah, and when you got the DRS, they really come up really quick. So I guess got to be real. And credit to Pegasus too. He's actually one of the members that actually moved from Xbox into iRacing, and his iRacing, he's got 2 different wheel setups. So he's been used to his PC wheel setup, and he's come back to his console one, which is a Logitech G920. And he's just finding it a little bit difficult because I don't think he's got it mounted to his sim rig. So most people that know those G920s are pretty hard on the brake pedals, so he's finding they're moving around a little bit on the floor, and he was rigging something up from last night ready for this session. So it looks like he might have got those things sorted out.
Does look a lot more stable, I will agree with you there. On board of the 911 here. Probably a dark horse in terms of strategy, yeah.
Yeah, Timmy. This is actually 91 Porsche. He's actually got 3 drivers in this one. We've got basically him. We've got Slide Science, and also we've got a dual driver with Sato, who's actually the fastest man in the LMP8 at the moment, doing 15.
Well. It's down 15.
Wow, what a time!
That's fast.
And that's very fast in that Audi. In the
Gecko's just immediately jumped into the 15s as well.
Yeah, well, they're very fast in that racing team. So they're not mucking around with just under 12 minutes remaining. And just get back to Sato. He's going for the first dual podium winner in both classes that we've seen at ANZCRL. So he's driving the 91 Team Apex Eaters Porsche 911 RSR with Timmy 82 Slide Science. So he's going to be taking the controls of that car in session 2.
Very good steers on 3 of them.
Yeah, and Slide Science is then going to be finishing off doing the 2 sessions tomorrow, sessions 3 and 4. So obviously Sato will be hoping to see that Porsche actually on the podium, and he's in probably one of the race favourites with Dark Racing and himself in the number 8 Audi Sport Team Yoast Audi.
A bit of traffic there.
So yeah, you might have just seen that Dado's car, or was Dado Wadey's car, actually just I wasn't Wadey, sorry, he's in the metal drive, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, Metal Drive actually ghosted. It's probably because we've obviously had Got Gecko came into the session. He's been disconnected, come in, so he'd be ghosting to people until everyone else pits as well, and then they'll actually see him. So Dado may not have even seen him. I mean, Metal Drive might not have even seen Gecko on his own screen. It's just a glitch in the game, and it sort of affects our coverage. So we don't have Ghost on, but it will show up until everyone pits, and then basically you won't see that car ghosting anymore. So come into the race session in about 10-12 minutes time. Everyone will be solid on our screens, so that's a good thing.
Captain Cranky's managed to get up into second by the looks of this.
Yeah, well, hey, exactly that, Matty. You said that we can't rule out those Porsches. We've sort of said that both the Chevrolet and the Aston Martin are sort of race favourites, but you know, you even said it. You can't disregard these Porsches. They just keep going around. They're a stable car. Yeah. They're solid. Yeah.
Very, very good on fuel as well.
Yeah.
This will be played out as a strategy game, especially these 1 hours. Guys will pit. Guys will try and make it to the end.
Yeah, one thing that we have a time compression formula that we use at the end of each session, which will obviously bring the cars a lot closer. So with just an example roughly how it works is based on how far you are behind the leader. Say for example you're a minute behind the leader, you end up being about 20 seconds behind the leader ready for session 2 after the time compression comes in. And it's a trigonometry thing, so as you can see, so if we add another 60 seconds and make it 120 seconds, so you're 2 minutes behind, that will only make you 33 seconds behind the leader, not say 40 seconds. So it's as you go further and further out, the closer the difference is greater, so you sort of come back closer to the field. So yeah, it's very interesting. So it helps the guys that have some problems and fall a lap down or 2 laps down actually in the game. They will come back actually on the lead lap, and they will have to stand still at the start of the second session on the grid until a lot of time comes up, and then they're able to start their race. So it's always brought back a lot of interest to a lot of the guys, especially those guys that may have an issue and disconnect at some stage during the race. It does keep them in the hunt for some minor positions and also enjoy their racing as the sessions go on. So it's a good little
a clear winner you will not know until the end of session 4.
Exactly, that's why we say it's all about buying a ticket for that session 4. So you know, if things go wrong this first session, it's all about use session 2 and 3, try and use that formula the best you can, you know, to benefit you and get back up on the lead lap and get amongst it all for the final session.
Bit of damage on the front there, the Aston Martin. Yeah, a front arrow would not be liking that.
Nah, not at all, not one bit.
They're probably already running very thin aero as well, especially down these big straights.
Yeah, I think most of them are only running maximum 2 at the rear, and maybe 1, or maybe some of them might not have anything at the front. They just use the splitter as it is, just to act as a little bit of downforce for the car.
Yeah.
Obviously race trim, they might put a little bit more aero, but these qualifying sessions, some of them actually really try and liven up those cars and try and get the most out of them.
Jump back to Sato.
Yeah, and it's a good time to come back to Sato, because I've just found out that I've just heard his teammate Dark Racing 40 mentioning in the pits there that he reckons Sato can go faster than this time. So it's a worry sign for those guys over at the opposition team in the number 7 A&M Racing. We've got Gecko, so definitely Sato
to see how hard he's working. So we can already tell from this corner he's definitely not using a controller.
Yeah, majority of our guys are all on wheels, I'm pretty sure. I don't think anyone's on a controller.
Which is why you see the Formula Renaults, very unrealistic turning circle from my car.
It's always a good thing to see on the coverage, the wheels at 90 degrees.
90 degrees and you're down the front straight. It's beautiful, majestic.
Oh, he'd be close. I think he'll be right there. I don't think he extended the track limits. They're very tough track limits on project cars on the Xbox. So
Bring up the split
a
times
lot of
as well
other
and
games you can come out on that line.
see if we got going green or red. Hard braking into there. Kiss of the apex, beautiful.
Yeah, into that Muslane top corner. It's one of those corners that can really catch guys out.
You need a very good
setting
exit
sun.
out as well, because it opens up an overtaking opportunity down here.
Oh yeah, the run into Indianapolis. It's a crazy part of the track.
There's full commitment through there. Braking into Indianapolis down third by the looks of it.
Yeah, he's got a nice line. He's using that the camber of that corner.
Yeah.
Of Indianapolis.
A bit wide on the exit.
Probably hence why they call it Indianapolis, because it's got the little banking to it.
Porsche curves here as well. Commitment's what we need through here.
Yeah, it's all about momentum, holding momentum, dropping down that gear and just holding it, having confidence in that car under you. It's going to stick to that road.
Find the guys that have not a lot of confidence, they'll probably back up a bit to probably drop it down a couple more gears. At the end of it, you'll probably have guys with about 5-6 k's more speed coming out of it. Got to be careful at our Ford chicanes as well, because if you make a mistake, project cars, the way it's designed, will penalise you a couple of laps as well.
Doesn't look like he went faster there, but still, it looked a very tidy lap indeed.
I've just spoken and the penalty for the couple laps has come through.
Yeah, so it's no use running that second lap because he's probably low on fuel too, so he might not have got 2 laps in.
We won't be able to get another lap anyway because we've only got 3 minutes 30 left.
Yeah. Now what can Gear 3 Gaming do in this number 69 Chip Ganassi Ford?
Looks like the Ford's jumped up and behind Jetto there as well.
Yeah,
he's put a good lap time in. Jetto's done a 3:54 as well, so
he's
spin outside there.
His any chances. So he's teaming up with Weary Knight this Le Mans 24 Hours, Gear 3 Gaming.
So
now the pressure's on.
Pushing hard now.
The metal drive. Yeah, well, he was trying to get back into get up to that 3rd position or better, but me Wadey in this BMW, who's teaming up with Default Trap.
Doesn't look as taily now through those chicanes.
No.
So the Beamer does have a slower top speed down this straight as a few of the others, I think. The Beamer and the Ford are slower cars, but what they lack in speed, they do make up through the corners.
Yeah, it's a nice car, the BMW, when you get it right. And any time under 4 minutes, really, in these GTE cars, there is a good lap around here. So nothing to shy upon.
These are bloody brilliant laps. This is fast.
Yeah.
Very fast. See how we go through the sweeper. Chucks it down a gear.
Seems to drop down a gear.
Yeah. Nice exit out of Indianapolis though.
Yeah, he's looking strong this lap.
Should get a split time up coming up soon. I think Sector 2 ends just before the Porsche curves.
Yeah, I don't know if we actually get it in the footage here. I'm not 100% sure. That's one thing that we've always been lacking.
I somehow managed to get it up during our practice feed at split times.
Okay. Might have to have another option up, like the map or something up, maybe. Because the map comes up and we normally then can see who's disconnected and connected and things like that.
We'll put the map up as well, and we can just see how large this track is. Those dots move very slowly around it.
what can Wadey do? This is he's going to get another lap in if he's got enough fuel, if he wants. As long as he doesn't.
He looks like he has plenty. Cautious through the forward chicanes, but a good exit out.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem to.
No, it doesn't. But
timings. Yes, that's a 6-minute lap there, so it looks like he's made a mistake.
yeah, could be his outlap. But it'd say that if he doesn't do anything wrong here, he'll be definitely on it for this final run.
Is rubbering up on this track, so the track condition will it get better as the session goes on?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, it will. And then it also benefits into the first race session too for the race. So having the longer qualifying obviously will help the rubber already grip levels in the race will start off a little bit higher than if we just ran straight into the race.
Wadey's got a lot of confidence through there because he threw it through.
Yeah.
A lot of confidence.
And I noticed that. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the only GT3 currently out on track too. So we've still got
stick with him, see what he can do. Obviously, Gecko will be flying to try and topple Sato off the perch. It still looks tidy, even though he sort of locked. He still held the speed through there for the first chicane.
Just the different sounds in these cars as well. GT3s, it's very obvious too.
Yeah, so it looks like we've got one of the LMPHs coming too close to the finish now on that map.
Looks like it was Gecko, but he's gone into pit lane.
The other one is probably Night Pegasus in the Porsche. He's the only other guy.
He's on a going through Porsche chicane. Porsche curve, sorry.
Yeah, we might just stay on him, just see what he can do on this lap, and then we can catch the end of Wadey in the BMW.
He's gone gear by the sounds of it. That looks tidy through forward chicane there.
Yeah. And I didn't see if he doesn't improve. No, he's still a 333. So if we can find Wadey coming down into
heading to the fast sweeper.
Oh, into Indianapolis.
Oh, he throws it in there. Oh, the back end was still out there.
Definitely trying to make that. He's trying to, I think, get Timmy for 5th spot on the grid.
That was commitment then.
Definitely a lot of commitment. LMPH guys call that the Le Mans drift. So yeah, it's definitely pretty hairy.
Yeah. All 2 wheels on the grass there.
Yeah.
A little bit of the wiggle.
It's like no pressure on Wadey. Everyone's watching him. Well, everyone in pit lane will be watching him too.
Yeah.
Only car on track.
Nice exit out of the Porsche curves, though.
How much can he chew off into these forward chicanes without causing a... He looks like he's holding on to it. No, he was going... It's still okay though, but I don't know if he's going to do better than Timmy. I think he's upset there. We won't know until the very end. Next team, here we go. Wadey. No, I don't know if he actually made it a little bit better. 59.025. It was.
Yes, he has. He's dropped. It looks at it 4/10 out of that lap.
So there we go. So the end of qualifying. We won't be here too long for the guys because we want to get into the race and they'll be itching to get in. So Sato taking pole with a sensational lap of a 3:15.204, and then got Gecko, who was setting the pace early on before we had to. He got disconnected and came back. It was good to get another 3:15.778, and then Lockie 5.5s in the Toyota in the 319 948. Night Pegasus in the Porsche doing a 333 582. Very conservative lap, but his idea obviously is to take a conservative approach to this race and pick up the pieces as they go and get faster throughout. So it'll be a good idea to keep an eye on Pegasus throughout the event. Now in the GTE class, Jetto 13 in that number, number 26 Capril Chevrolet. With he's got the pole over Captain Cranky, who ended up getting second in that Porsche. So that's a very good effort with in that Porsche with a 355. Then Gear 3 came in the Ford, 356 in third, fourth medal drive. I think Dado will be still happy with that on the second row of the GTE class. And then Timmy 82 in the 3-car driver lineup in the Team Apex Porsche, and then Wadey finally in the grid with the number 73 Busy Team BMW.
That was a good quality session there. Sets up the grid for the next race. Should be very, very good.
Okay, so we'll continue on. And here we go. So the settings for this race is 3 p.m. Start time. A 1 hour race times 2 time progression. And so that'll see it go to 5 p.m. in-game time. And we're also looking at the weather being just the heavy cloud for this session. So the time should be fairly fast as the fuel loads drop in these cars, Matty, because they'd be all on full fuel tanks, that's for sure.
Definitely.
And we will see some guys trying to fuel conserve, especially those GTEs. The LMPHs definitely have to pit. They'll get probably about 40 minutes out of their tank before we start seeing a round of pit stops. Yeah, and the GTEs, if they're going to try and do one full stint without pitting, they're obviously going to have to look at the in-car management and maybe run down to just normal fuel instead of rich, and manage that fuel burn a little bit, and obviously try and keep a low gear through this parade lap.
Definitely. There's probably a couple of ways you can strategize your race as well. If you're deciding to pit, you can run very light at the start, pit in early, get that clean air, or you can kind of even out your stint and half it with a kind of medium fuel load, or you can go full fuel and conserve. It's going to be interesting to see which way the teams pick out.
Yeah. I think what some of the guys were talking about throughout the practice session is maybe start on full tanks and then obviously have a strategy save for damage repair, but have about 10 litres of fuel to go in as well. So if they have to get damage repair, they're actually topping up that fuel tank at the same time. And that way there it's sort of hitting two things, and then they know that they'll be right. So that damage, even though it's cost them a little bit, at least they know that there's a possibility of other guys needing to pit for a splash and dash, so they'll be coming back into the race. So here we go for the formation lap.
Let's have a look at our fuel loads as well. So we've got, looks like the Audis are running very similar. 50 litres from Unilo. Got the Toyota on a higher fuel load as well.
Yeah, those Audis, I'm pretty sure they got a small fuel tank because they're on diesel, so they are smaller.
Yeah, so the Audis are definitely smaller fuel loads. As we said, they are diesel. Have a look at the GTEs. That's running 88. 94 for the Porsche.
Yeah.
87 for
the Ford.
95 for the Aston Martin. 95 also for the other Porsche. And we've got 100 litres in the Beamer.
Yeah, the Beamer was the one that takes the most fuel, but as you can see, they're already in 6th gear, going at this slow pace, so they're definitely fuel conserving. The GTEs, it's very important for them. Yeah.
Definitely.
I think the idea is just to see how the race goes, to go that first half hour and just see where your fuel load is after that, and see if you need to back it off just a little bit, or if you're going to keep going and do the splash and dash.
Be interesting to see lap times as well as we go on throughout the hour. We'll see guys probably 30 minutes in, we can definitely get an idea of what they're planning to do. They're dropping the pace, they're definitely fuel reserving.
So everyone watching, welcome to ANZCRL Combined Racing League's 4th running of the Le Mans 24 Hours here on Project Cars Xbox. And this afternoon we've got Matty Seiki in the commentary box with myself, Woody Lizard, and we're expecting a very fast version of the 2020 Le Mans 24 Hours this year, as the conditions are pretty much spot on for the full event, as forecasted. So we're going to strap ourselves in for a very entertaining race, Matty.
Yep,
welcome.
It looks like we've got weaving happening as well. The guys are warming up the tyres, getting the heat into the brakes as well. So it's going to be very, very, very good racing.
Yes, and I just really hope that we can see a nice clean start. As I said, we've had 3 run-ins already of these, and it's very hard to get all these cars through that first chicane up the Dunlop Bridge. And just hopefully the guys, as we've progressed throughout, we're going to be a little bit more level-headed, and the guys understand that it is a long race, and brakes aren't there when you put your foot flat on the floor and the car just keeps motoring through.
The guys have probably been running on very light fuel loads as well, especially for qualifying, so now we've chucked probably an extra 200 kilos in the back of it.
Yeah, and that's just it, Matty. You know, that's what us sim racers have to deal with. You know, we do come from that fast qualifying session, and like in real life, they do their qualifying, and then they might have an hour break, or even, you know, it could even be a day break before they actually come back into the race. So these guys have had their own muscle memory in the car with the low tanks, you know, hot tyres, hot brakes, all that sort of stuff. And that was only 5 minutes ago, and now they've got to retrain their brain that this ain't going to happen again. So yeah, it is a challenge that sim racers do have to come up against every time that we run qualifying then into the race. It's a unique skill.
It doesn't take much to overstep the mark and lock a wheel, go wide. Especially on the cold tyres. Looks like we got Dark Racing 40. He said he's going to wave the French tricolour flag.
He's fully in the spirit. Darky, this is one race he wants to make sure he takes victory of. He's really got his sights here with Sado as well.
I think we could jump in virtually and wave that flag at the start line.
Well, you know, who knows what might happen in 5 years' time, but yeah, we'll just visualise it.
Track Marshal Simulator 9.
Yeah, there you go. So the GTEs look like they're just going to hold off just a little bit from the back of the LMPHs. So they're going to stay single file, and they're going to try and group up 2x2 out of the forward chicane. And when the green light is actually showed in game, they've been briefed on this, that the race is not started. The race is starting when the actual leader decides to go, and there is no overtaking. You can overlap a car, but you cannot overtake a car until you physically cross the start line. So that's from first all the way down to 10th, so no car can overtake the car in front of them, unless obviously a car is spun out and off the track, and for obvious reasons. So not long to go, guys.
It's a good start, to be honest. Especially the GTEs, you can kind of fire out from the second chicane. You can make a few spots. But then we don't want to go running 2x2 through the curves as well.
The GTEs, they were so evenly matched. There's not much in them, and you can have, I think, the group of the top 3 and then the bottom 3. Really in a tight group. If they can get through these first few laps without incident, it's going to set us up for a good run for the first hour, that's for sure.
Yeah. Then we can add our closing speed to the LMPHs as well. They'll probably get involved 40 minutes into the race.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be pretty hectic, and look at those times from Sato and Gecko. You know, they're both 2 hard charger racers, mate. They won't let anything go. As much as you sort of say, just take it easy. Mate, they get their sim helmet on and away they go. So they're tough customers, and you wouldn't expect anything less from those two.
No, I'm expecting a very hard-fought battle at the front.
So we're moments away from the 2020 Le Mans 24 Hours on ANZCRL Combined Racing League. strap yourselves in, guys. 6 hours of racing, split up over 4 sessions. We're running over a full weekend of 24 hours. We should be finished tomorrow from 3:30 p.m. Starting just after 3, well 10 past 3 here on Saturday the 27th of June. So hopefully we can get you some exciting racing and the drivers all have an enjoyable experience. So here's Sato. It's tight. Here we go. It's on. Welcome to the 2020 Le Mans 24 hours, and the tricolour flags are waving hard over on the Twitch.
Audi's already side by side here.
Yeah, Sato's just covered that inside line, ran a bit deep, as we said, the brake's just not there. Now it's under pressure. Get go.
Porsche run wide. It's like Captain Cranky's run wide.
Cranky.
Yeah.
Yeah, he sort of pulled out of it. Hopefully he hasn't got any damage. It looks okay. He was second. He's dropped now to fourth.
Jump back to the leaders there, and let's see how the slipstream effect goes in these cars here.
Oh, it's amazing. I think you can find that some of these cars are going to reach speeds of 348 kilometres an hour down the Meuse Lane straight here before the first chicane. I mean, a good slipstream. It's just amazing with the curves. Fairly clean start though from all the guys.
It is. Has been.
Lockie's had a little bit of an incident in the Toyota. He's down in 5th position, and Night Pegasus in the Porsches benefited from that and running 3rd in the LMPH class. So Lockie's had to deal now with Jetto, who's leading class in the GTE.
You have to bide his time, but he should get the run outside. There we go.
Yeah, easy meal there.
Good awareness as well from Jetto, just to kind of pull over to the side there and let the LMPH car past as well.
Yeah.
No point holding him up.
So we're just a lot of battles that we're going to be keeping an eye on. We want to give even time if we can between both the LMPHs and the GTE class. If the GTE class stick together, I'm sure they should get a lot of coverage. Look at this, beautiful from the GTE class at the moment. Just like in real life when you see them, they just hold together throughout the event. Side by side
down here. Oh, there!
Getting close, Captain Cranky. Yeah, Wadey wouldn't be happy with that early on the first lap. I think Captain Cranky just didn't realise how wide those wheel arches are on that Porsche.
See the speed difference between the Porsche as well, Eva. It's come down to the sun.
Yeah, maybe these are two Porsches together.
Oh, it's still going on here. Don't want to be side by side coming through the sweeper though.
Timmy's showing a little bit of cheek to Captain Cranky. And Timmy and that Team Apex Porsche definitely is wanting to either stick with Captain Cranky or even maybe just push up in front. It'd be wise probably just to follow your Captain Cranky's lines if you can, and let them all set themselves up into a rhythm.
Looks like Jenno's got off to an okay start, but it looks like he's actually dropped some time coming out of that corner. Whether he's one wide or not, it was about a second and a half. It's dropped back down.
Yeah, we've already got some people already commenting, thinking that they're already predicting the GTE class. So Jetto here in the Caprol Chevrolet to out-muscle Metal Drive in the Aston Martin, the 48 Besman Aston Martin in this session. But we'll wait to see. Metal Drive is a very solid steerer, and he's got Gear 3 Gaming in front of him in the Ford, who's holding a very good second position in the GTE class. He'll be very happy here.
Very good start.
It's one of these, it's one of these events that he gets very excited. He's a very passionate young motorsport fan, and really enjoys his racing here at ANZCRL Combined Racing League. Someone has some bad luck with his internet, so yeah, it is. You're right. It's probably the best start we've had.
Good run out
here we
there,
go, Captain Cranky with a run. Yeah.
Side by side. Oh, should get it done now. Got the racing line through there. Oh, bit of contact.
He's pushed. Yeah, that's a bit rude from Captain Cranky. Metal Drive minding his own business and not being able to turn into that little kink.
Timmy's going to get
Cranky
run out there.
So there you go, Timmy's having a nice little run.
Momentum of the Porsche should be up through here though.
I wouldn't imagine they would get a penalty. I wouldn't imagine they would have got a penalty. Maybe the damage should be very minimal, if any, because it was only a slight glance, so they should
possibly
be right.
Maybe a slowdown.
But, you know, looking for a bit of a payback. There's a bit of bad blood there, I'd say. You know, they'd be a bit hot. So if the time comes again between Metal Drive and Captain Cranky better be alert that you won't get any favours from the number 48 Besman Racing Aston Martin team. That's for sure.
Timmy makes the move.
Yeah,
Metal Drive runs wide there, so it gives Captain Cranky probably a nicer run outside that corner as well. Just the speed of the Aston kind of comes through there. Looks like a slowdown actually.
Yeah, so we're sort of talking about that even with that time compression formula that we've got. Sometimes these slowdowns isn't worth really worrying about in these early sessions. We'll just keep going to keep in this battle, you know. Here we go, another look from Timmy down the inside. He's holding that. And there goes Wadey. Unfortunately, the rear end of that BMW has caught him out.
Lines back up. Looks like Captain Cranky's in front. The Metal Drive's got a really good run though. Aston's not going to come back. That Aston's quick.
Very powerful. Going to find himself on the outside, coming into the Muse Lane corner. It's very tough because the cars need all that track.
Captain Cranky closes the door. Gives Timmy the run outside the corner as well.
Yeah, so if Timmy can stay in there in the Porsche, he's going to have a good look. But not Pegasus
like
currently in fourth. So
past move from the Toyota. Come back here.
Yeah.
Still battling.
All the while, Jetto and Gear 3 Gaming have been able to extend their lead from this pack. Oh, there goes Captain Cranky, missing his braking mark. He'll be ruined that because he did all the hard work to finally get a little bit of a gap over the other two cars, and he's just thrown that away. Probably lack of concentration.
The more these guys battle as well, the more Wadey ends up closing in.
Yeah, these guys are definitely on it. So we've got a battle in the LMPHs, both for first and second and third and fourth currently. They're both separated by about 2 seconds in both of those two battles. Here we're looking at the, obviously they've got Gecko in their number 7 A&M Racing Audi R18. Chasing down the other Audi R18, the number 8 Audi Sport Team Yoast. I don't know if that's how it's pronounced, but maybe a silent G. J, I should say.
Most likely. So you can tell the difference between the two. Gecko's got the lights ablaze. Have the lights ablaze tonight when we head into night as well.
Yeah, well, the second session that we'll be running from 5 PM in game time all the way to 3 AM in the morning for the 2-hour session. So it's a very exciting session. The first hour is pretty much the afternoon daylight, and then the second session is pretty much the dark session.
Jump on.
And it's reversed then for the session 3, where they have to start off the dark session for the first hour, and then it comes probably the first 45 minutes, and then it comes light, and they run their hour 15.
So dark is just covered, and it's pronounced Yohurst.
Yohurst, okay, thank you, Darky.
Yohurst.
I'll try and remember that. Yohurst. Well, he should know. He's actually employed by Team Yohurst, so there you go. He'd be sacked if he couldn't pronounce it correctly.
Looks like we've got Gears also slightly catching up to Jetto here. GT's keeping pace with Corvette.
Yeah, within 2 seconds, second and a half to be exactly on the money. And we're just creeping over to the first 10 minutes of racing here. Our 2020 Le Mans 24 hours. If you just joined us, we run the Le Mans 24 hours over 4 sessions. An hour session, two 2-hour sessions, and then we finish off session 4 with an hour session. All replicating, all simulating a full 24-hour transition in game.
So it looks like Metal Drive's got back in front of Captain Cranky there. So the Aston's actually a couple of tenths on there too. So
I think he'd be happy to get rid of that Porsche rubbish because they seem to be battling out together, and just having that clear air so he's not getting involved in there to enter Porsche fight is a good thing for the Aston Martin team.
G4 here. Yeah, definitely that 4 GT slightly closing in.
Yeah, but is Jetto fuel conserving? That's the question that we could be also asking.
Yeah.
Is he putting out the little dangling the bait there for that inexperienced Gear 3 game to charge hard and use more fuel? Again, it's only the first session, but these guys don't treat it just the first session out of 4 sessions. They treat this as a session, and they want to win it. You know, they take pride actually coming home first in class in every session.
Yeah, definitely. Even coming home first in this, then will probably feel like a very good race victory.
Oh, definitely. You know, any other sort of normal league race, an hour race, winning that is always a good achievement. You know, it takes a little bit out of you, a lot of concentration.
I love the noise of that Corvette. Something else.
Ah, it's beautiful. Yeah. We actually did have 2 Corvettes signed up early on. We had Locomoto had signed up, but unfortunately he wasn't able to make it. He pulled out fairly early once he realised that he had family life with all this COVID-19, and they were able to be able to go away for a little camping trip this weekend. So he decided to do that, obviously. So, you know, he was really interested in joining us for the first time. He hasn't raced with us here at ANZCRL Combined Racing League.
Looks like we've got Night Pegasus back in 3rd there.
So Lockie's made a little mistake. We said that at the top of the coverage with Night Pegasus. He's just going to work on that car. And look, he's already doing faster than what he did in qualifying. He did a 3:31 the previous lap. So he did a 3:33 in qualifying. So, you know, he's getting himself back acquainted with the Xbox on project cars after being on PC for a while.
Wide there too. Drop back again. Night Pegasus.
Yeah, both these guys are actually very prevalent in the iRacing scene in Australia, both Night Pegasus and Lockie 55. So, yeah, they are doing a cross platform, you could say. So they've got to get used to the different physics. So it's no wonder that they're sort of 3rd and 4th at the moment.
Looks like there seems to be a little bit of damage on the front.
I've just got a. Oh yeah, you picked up that well. But I've just got a question from one of our viewers here, the real Andy, asking if there's any way to sign up, but Darky's just answered for me. But yeah, we only open for Australia and New Zealand, unfortunately. As much as we'd love to see the Canadians and Europeans join us, we have experimented with that before, and we do have some stability issues that affect others throughout an event, which is unfortunate. So yeah, really would love to take on, especially Canadian. Canadians are probably the second homes for most Australians. So yeah, sorry, buddy.
Yeah, it looks like there's some front damage on the Toyota. Oh, he runs a bit wide there. Oh, that's a save and a half.
Yeah.
You come off quick there.
Yeah, he's just he's obviously trying to push, and I think you're right. He's probably got maybe a little bit of damage. I'm not too sure, but
it's actually on both sides, to be honest.
He's not 100% confident in the car. Obviously, Lockie 55's been my teammate, so yeah, he hasn't been fully confident with the car through the Porsche curves. And he's been changing a few things, trying to suit his style, but Yeah, it looks like he's brushed the run up against the tyre wall there down the side, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Those marks.
Just thinking where it could possibly be. Whoosh. Maybe,
Yes,
yeah, coming out of the
sort of the
first
inside.
whoosh curves, yeah. There's a little bit of damage too on the other side as well.
Just to recap, we had Sato off pole, off the race, and he is actually pretty sure he was challenged very early with Gokgeko, but I don't think he's actually lost the lead throughout the race. I think he's led it from the start flag to currently now we're just into 15 minutes into the race. So a sensational job there with the number 8 team Joest Audi. And then we've got Gokgeko, who's been second, chased him down, and he's just dropped off. Got Sato at the moment. Maybe he's just running his own race now in the number 7 A&M Racing Audi. And then
so
Knight Pegasus and Lockie. Yeah, both Knight Pegasus and Lockie 5.5s have been having a ding-dong battle, swapping spots after Lockie sort of was holding probably around about 4 or 5 seconds off the lead pack, but has dropped back in the clutches of Pegasus and now battling on. And then in the GTE class, Jetto had a sensational start, and Captain Cranky was second next to him. Actually made a bit of a mistake coming into the first corners and went wide and was dropped about 3 spots.
It's
so
like Timmy's
those
got
guys,
Captain Cranky as well. Yeah, Timmy's in front of
so there's that
Cranky.
Porsche battle. Yeah, the Porsche battle just seems to be a battle that's going to go all race by the looks of this. It's good to see. You know, the two light cars, and it's going to be, I don't believe they've shared setups, these two guys, these two teams. So, you know, they're all going to be running slightly different setups.
Yeah.
And Wade, he was with all these guys, but he in the BMW, but he had a little bit of a moment. And
Yeah, so
looks like he's actually taking the pits. There he
stop.
goes. Yeah, we've just about to get lapped here on lap 5. So, yeah, it looks like every 5 to 6 laps it's going to be the mark of where they're going to be getting lapped.
May possibly be a damaged pit stop, or still got 67 litres unless he's topping up the tank.
I think you might be right. We'll just see how long he actually is here for. If he's there for a bit while after the fuel's gone in for any damage repair. It doesn't look too much damage was, unless he had some
look at the back end.
Front end.
Back end looks like it's got some damage.
Oh, yeah.
Rear window's cracked.
And sometimes also the guys too, if they get that little bit of the engine issue as well, they're down on power. So being such a track where you want to get that top speed, sometimes it's worthwhile pitting. And he's getting his fuel in anyway now, so he'll be able to go to the flag and come back at these guys.
There's that damage
you can see
there
the
in the
rear
rear
end
of
damage there. Yeah, so Slide Science is exactly on the money there, saying that's what it was. Splash and dash and damage repair.
Definitely.
Metal Drive, still holding a solid 3rd position. He's got 8 seconds in front of him. Gear 3 Gaming in the. Oh, look here. We've got some of these GTEs. I mean, the LMPHs coming through. They get through the Porsches at the moment.
So the next one, by the looks of it, is actually Metal Drive.
Yeah, he'll be coming up to Metal Drive next.
Two Porsches line astern. You could easily see some Captain Cranky get a nice kind of boost from that as well if the LMPH goes down at the wrong time. Lights blaze there.
Yeah, a little flash of the lights just to let him know that he's going to make that move coming into
very
the
nice.
main corner.
Very good awareness there from Metal Drive there. Minimises his time lost as well.
Exactly, that's what it's about too, isn't it? You know, like you don't want to, like spinning off and going off wide on the track and then looping it and things like that costs you more time than actually just a little lift and giving those cars.
Oh, that was tight.
That was very tight. So yeah, the last thing that the GTE cars want to do is ruin their own race at the same time because running off the track and having a little bit of an incident can cost you a lot more time. But these are about awareness.
The biggest way you can do it as well there too is just kind of move over in the braking line. It's very,
so Lockie's taking the opportunity to pit now for probably damage repair, but and he should get, if he's filled up his tank, he should be able to get to the end. He might just have to put it on lean for a little bit, or fuel conserve, because the car's running roughly 38 to 40 minutes.
Wasn't a long pit stop though.
He should be right. I think they can get 40 minutes out of their tank.
Still not a lap down though. The advantage he also has too is he can run in some clean air.
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
What you get from pitting early. You get some clean air. You actually probably get some very good laps, probably close to quality laps out.
Yeah, and not having that dangling in front of you, seeing Night Pegasus only 10 seconds or so in front of you and trying to chase that down. Oh, there goes Scott Gecko taking a nice bold move on Gear 3 Gaming.
He's right through the chicane there.
Yeah, I think he was thrown off there. He had no option other to cut that chicane. Yeah, as we said, the closing in pace on these LMPHs are amazing.
So we'll stick with God Gecko. You can just see how quickly it takes for him to catch up to the Corvette there. Especially through the pace that these guys have through this section as well.
Yeah, he's going to get held up a little bit because he might not be able to get him before. He's going to put it in there. That's good driving by both the drivers involved there.
Night Pegasus will be catching up to this traffic as well.
I really like the Porsche. It's just a shame it's just not on pace at the moment, but it's such a nice looking car.
Yeah.
Obviously our own Mark Webber doing well in the Porsche back in his day.
Oh, looks like we've had Timmy spin here.
Oh no,
the end of that.
Don't want to. Hopefully he's come away without any damage, because these Porsches, he can try and get through without making a pit stop.
Might have got away with it.
Yeah, it looks intact. Looks intact.
Just to keep an eye on our kind of right front and see if we've got a bit of a scratch as well.
We got team boss of the Apex Racing actually watching this, and he was had his heart in the mouth there. Oh no, he couldn't believe that his number one qualifier has spun, but don't worry, it looks like he's kept it off the wall, so all is good in the Porsche camp.
Even if there's slight damage there, you can kind of fill in now, get it repaired, and you can get some clean air as well, so you can make some time back. You don't get stuck up behind another car with the aero wash. Should we come up to some traffic? It's like
only one way for him, that's flat out.
Pace as well on metal drive. That gap's slowly coming in as well.
Yeah, ongoing battle between those two. There, as I said, they got a bit of bad blood early on, and Captain Cranky gave him no room coming into the first corner. A little kink there coming up into the Dunlop chicane, and both of them ran wide. Metal Drive had no way he could turn in, because Captain Cranky sort of drifted out on him.
It looks like Timmy's only lost about 10 seconds on that spin, so by the looks of it, has kept it off the wall, so that's good driving there if he's done that.
Yeah, it's also the ongoing effects though. If you do those little spins, as you use a little bit more fuel, you use that fuel to get going again, the lower revs coming back up to speed, you lose your momentum. So theoretically you use more fuel than your competitor.
Jump on there with Jetto. 7-second gap by the looks of it.
I really wish the devs of Project Cars 3 would really be interested in our stream if they could, because this is one thing that they're going to be taking away from us from what we read, is the ability to have pit stops and fuel strategies and tyres and all that sort of stuff for this sort of endurance sort of type of racing. It adds a good element to our sim racing on the Xbox, but unfortunately they're looking the other way to more shorter 20-30 minute races where you don't have to worry about fuel and tyres and things like that. But anyway, that's the way that they're looking.
Does upset us engineers as well. We enjoy getting the pen and paper out, writing down strategies and stuff too. It's the only time we really can do it.
Didn't buy into it where they sort of said that people don't always have the time. Well, those people can obviously normally turn off tyre wear and fuel in this game, current game as it is, and they can even run default setups if they really want to as well, and force that on everyone and still have some fun. So I don't know why they didn't pick that option. But anyway, back to our coverage here of our ANZCRL Combined Racing League's 4th running of the Le Mans 24 Hours. Currently we've got Sado 15 leading the motor race in the number 8 Audi Team Joest car, and then followed by him, who's just sort of keeping Sado honest basically, is Gecko, got Gecko in the A&M Racing number 7 Audi.
Looks like he's cruising at probably about 90%, to be honest. It's been a very, very strategic race from them.
They could be obviously benefiting, and as I said, a lot of the guys are starting to learn that they are time compression. Like currently at this stage, with Tim being about 10 seconds off Sado, once we do the time compression at the end of this session, when he hands it back over to Aussie Carters, you won't have to wait 5 seconds at the grid if that was the case. Wouldn't have to wait 10 seconds. So then if it blew out to 30 seconds, you don't have to wait about 12 seconds on the grid. So yeah, it does help the time compression, and you know, why risk spinning the car early on when you can use a bit of that compression and start fresh again in a new session. But the race is definitely not over yet.
Strategy games as well. He could be parking the car, or parking the car, but just easing the car into a very nice pace. And it come 10 minutes to go, the car might light up like a Christmas tree. We don't know yet.
Well, that's exactly right, you know, and you're playing two different personalities too. Sado's been charging pretty hard to keep that lead. Is he going to get mentally tired? You know, and Gokkeko's having his race now, his break now in the race, and he'll be a lot fresher at the end. So exactly right, Matty. Jeddo like still out front in the...
Looks like the Corvette's just saving a little bit of fuel as well from the lap times as well. His lap times flat, and we got rest in 3:59s. He's built a lead up, he can afford to do it. Yeah,
definitely. He's done really well. He's basically the leader of the GTE class, and the LMPHs are sort of doing the same at the moment. We've all predicted this to be one of the fastest races we've ever had here at ANZCRL. Last year, if you tuned in, we did have a very wet race, wet start, and slowed the pace down quite a bit.
Yeah, they're all going hard.
Entertainment and drama.
Aston Martin doing a bit of lip sniffing there.
Yeah.
If you ever need your track lines nice and not neat, do call on us. We can provide that.
Haha. Yeah, those lights, you can't miss those lights in those Aston Martin. Jeez, they're bright.
We'll
it's going to be off-putting for his competitors tonight.
Especially the two in the middle. Yeah. Wild animal coming up behind you. Just see these two lights just slowly come towards your rear vision.
Yeah, definitely.
It's like everyone's just eking up pace there. Timmy looks like he hasn't pit in, so they've done well to keep it out of the wall there. Oh,
yeah,
actually, it looks like it's been in the wall though. Oh no, what's happened
I think it's been in again. Yeah. There you go. That's not good to see. He's obviously going to have to come in for some damage repair, because that's going to affect his top line speed, and that's going to just cost him more and more time. He's better off just taking the option now to pit.
Yeah. Even have to steer.
Get it fixed up. Yeah.
Because he's actually starting to lose quite a bit of time to the Captain Cranky. Yeah, 4:17 his last lap there. That's 20 seconds slower.
Yeah, so we've actually got Colonel Lloyd being a bit vocal there on over on our Twitch channel at the moment, watching the coverage. He was the man that was actually in the Aston Martin last year, and finished second to Speed Racer, who was in the number 4 Corvette Racing car. And he only finished about 13 seconds off the pace, off the leader at the end of the race. So after 6 hours of racing, that's all it was. And he was in the battle pretty much, you know, all the time. He was running fourth, mid-pack most of the race, and the final session hammered on really strong. Got the fastest lap of the race as well, I think it was. Actually, no, it wasn't. It was a Ford. Got the 355. So they were doing 355s last year in the GTE class. Was the fastest lap, and a 3:17.891 was the fastest lap we saw last year. So we've already beaten that with Sato. That last lap just did a 3:16.
That is
0.5. So there you go, and he's just under 3:17. He's just completed his lap, his 10th lap or 9th lap. He's on his lap 10 now.
Sato is in relation to.
That was unbelievable. So already the times have tumbled. The fastest laps have already eclipsed from last year.
So we pretty much got the whole sun straight between Lockie and Sato, so they're all still on the lead lap, which is good.
Yeah. Yeah, so Lockie will take confidence from there because he can run to the flag. He knows that the others have to still pit yet, which will be getting very close. We might want to pull up and just see what sort of fuel load that Sato's got in at the moment.
So yeah, they'll probably be looking close to this lap. It's got 9.4 litres.
Yeah, they can sort of
9.1.
extend it out
So,
to they.
Yeah.
They can get around about 4 litres. Oh, I'm not too sure actually with these Audis because they're diesel. They use less fuel than most of the other guys. They might only use around 3 litres a lap.
9 Pegasus would be 20 litres.
Yeah, I think the Porsche and the Toyotas use roughly close to 3.8 litres a lap, roughly.
And then, yeah, Lockie will definitely be fuel to the end. It's only 28 minutes left.
Yeah, he'll be right. So the race will come back to Lockie. He might actually make a nice move by Night Pegasus in the pits for fuel. And make it nice and easy for himself. Though he did come in for a bit of damage repair, so he would have been held up a bit longer. And Night Pegasus, I think his car looks pretty good. We think that he might have had a bit of... Oh no, it wasn't Pegasus, it was Lockie that we thought had front end damage. So it looks like Pegasus' car's pretty straight. So you could imagine their pit stop's going to be fairly quick.
Yeah, definitely. Keep an eye out on 2 Audis though, because they might be in this lap.
Still revving it right up to the rev limit of a range.
There was a little something Jetto there in a minute. Just the noise difference in the Corvette to the Porsche.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. You should probably see Pegasus maybe trying to duck up. He didn't do what Got Gecko did. He actually made that move down the inside. Very risky. But Pegasus being a little bit more careful.
Come up to Porsche curves. They got 6.5 litres, so they're probably expecting him in this lap.
Well, he had 9. He had 9 but when he was up on Muse Lane. So yeah, I think you're right. I think it'll be next lap. Yeah. Last thing you want to see is the car running out of fuel early on.
They're going for tyres. Expect a slight undercut possible. Yep, Got Gecko's in.
We might just see how this goes.
Head limiter's on, lights flashing. Is it a fuel stop only or tyres? You'd say tyres. Yep, tyres. You'd need tyres.
Yeah, sometimes they do. The tyres should last for the for 2 stints, but you know they might put a fresh pair of boots on.
Possibly going for that undercut.
Yeah, that was only 13 seconds at pit stop. I'll just time that.
40
we might be able to see what time Sato is stopped for.
Oh yeah, see if there's any battles coming up. Jetto's set a bloody pace there, 3:58. Captain Cranky as well, 3:56. 27, so they're starting to push as well now, the GTEs. Looks like he's catching up to Metal Drive as well.
I think the Porsche too, you probably find that it's probably better with mid fuel load in the car.
Yeah, well, Porsche still has 40 litres left, so very close to looking at possibly a no-stopper.
Yeah, I think you could be right. Just depends if one of these LMPHs do a little sneaky and cross the line with only 10 seconds remaining and force in another lap on everyone.
Yeah. Looks like we're coming to Mulsanne here.
Yeah, so we've had 35 minutes completed so far. So we'll be around about just after 4 PM in game time currently.
Looks like we've got the clouds coming over as well.
Yeah, it was hard. It was heavy cloud to start with, so I think that's just been constant throughout the day. It just sort of hasn't done too much, so I think we're predicting probably overcast skies, but no rain, which is good to see in the forecast.
So it looks like we've got me Wadey as well managed to, from the issues the Porsche's had, has managed to jump on the spot.
Yeah, that's very nice for Wadey, and he's got enough fuel to the end because he came in early, remember, and pitted for damage and all that, and we said that he should be able to run to the end.
Be interesting to know the first few laps, especially with the damage at the back of the BMW, is when they were all battling, was there a little tap from behind from someone?
Yeah, well, you never know, do we? We didn't see that. But Sato must be getting close to finishing his lap to come into the pits, and depending on their different fuel loads is obviously how long they're going to stay stationary for. So we had 13 seconds for Gecko.
Oh, that was...
Very... You can see the pressures there on Sato. He didn't want to lose any time whatsoever and did the crisscross over onto, I think that might have been Captain Cranky.
See how long it hits for. Keep an eye on Gecko as well. So they're about 12 seconds, 13 seconds when they Gecko pitted in, so we'll see time gained.
Yeah, and I've got the stop clock on him. It looks like there's nothing at all damaged or nothing wrong with this car at the moment.
29 litres in,
maybe he's getting some engine damage repair. He's been pushing that car hard. He's in there for a while.
Starting to turn into the invisible men.
There we go. So he had a 30-second pit stop, so over Gecko's 13. Should see Gecko. If we go to Gecko, he's probably going to maybe come up and take the lead.
So they're coming through 4 chicanes now. This is going to be really close, I think so.
He's definitely gained some time, and he's got fuel to the end. I'd say he's got enough fuel. Sato's out now.
Sato's heading up towards Dunlop. So
just enough so
easily
Gecko
half.
can see him.
Got to let those tyres get up to temperature as well too, so those pressures will need to come up.
I think from memory the gap was over 10 seconds, close to 10 seconds when he pitted, so he's gained 8 seconds.
He's pushing hard now, got Gecko too. Using all the track available.
But one thing that we do know is that A&M Racing have had a history of miscalculating their fuel. All their drivers have had an issue before of running out of fuel in different events, so hopefully they have got enough fuel. And that would have been a very good strategic move by A&M Racing.
Yeah, so it looked like they've gained about 10 seconds there. Start of the next race, pretty much together.
Yeah, if all stays the same, we've still got a while. We've still got over 20 minutes remaining, so that's still plenty of time in a session after they've been already sitting down. Don't forget they did the 30-minute practice session before this, so they've been sitting in that sim rig for quite a while already. So they're looking over an hour already. They've been in that rig.
They possibly expect Night Pegasus in next lap.
No, I think Pegasus should be able to go another one. Honestly, Matty. It'll be close. I think they're using roughly no more than 4 litres a lap, so
Okay.
10 litres now.
Yep.
Yeah. So the Porsche is definitely better fuel economy than the Audis, so that's a good thing for him to think about. He should be able to get away with 2 pit stops in the 2-hour session, where the Audis, they should get away with 2 as well, but you never know, they might need 3. Yeah, it's a tight 2, but it might be 3 for the Audis if they don't conserve. I think they normally do 2 stops previously in other years.
It's like we've had Captain Cranky drop back from Metal Drive again. Whether there's been a slight mistake, slight lock-up.
Yeah, not too sure, but one person I wouldn't mind having a look at is Gear 3 Gaming. He's only still 6 seconds off Jetto, and he's been having a very solid first hour session for our youngest driver amongst our group. He's definitely enjoying that forward.
Yeah, definitely. Weary night to hop into that car. See both the other drivers at Commander Cirrus as well in the Corvette.
Yeah, and we know Weary Knight, if you've been looking at any of our Sunday series in the Formula Renault Gold Cup, he's in the second tier level, Weary Knight, leading that championship in the Formula Renaults. So he's definitely a handy steerer, but can he get that open wheel experience into these GTE cars? It's totally different type of cars. They do have downforce, obviously, but
well. A teammate with the Renaults.
That's right. Yeah, so it's a very good team lineup with Jetto and CMDR Cirrus in the Chevrolet Corvette.
Then we also have to mention we also have Datto hopping into with Metal Drive. Don't know if that's done tonight or possibly tomorrow. We'll see Datto in the Aston.
Yeah, I think he's actually racing tonight. He did post up somewhere. Don't have it in front of me, but I'm pretty sure they announced their driver lineup.
So no, it should be a very, very, very close session tonight as well. Night Pegasus catching up to a Porsche, the bigger brother.
Yeah, that's what would be Timmy. Yeah. They've repaired that damage, but she's not straight. And we've got also, it looks like Metal Drive and Captain Cranky may be close together. I'm not too sure.
Still about 6 seconds between the two.
Oh, 7. Well, I'm just looking at the live timing on the left, and obviously they're just playing up because it's just showing that they're only within a second. But that's what normally happens with the game.
Fly past though.
Looks like he was on the brakes there.
Yeah.
That LMPH car looked like he was struggling for a moment.
Sato there.
Sato still pushing. He's got that gap out to 5 seconds again over Gecko.
Gecko having to...
I was going to say, he just seemed to throw up a little bit of grass on the outside. Sato did, ready for Gecko to pick up on his way through. Gecko's obviously, he should have enough. I think he got enough fuel. He's about 1 litre less than Sato from what I could see then, so that shouldn't be an issue. I hope it won't be an issue.
Puff of smoke there. Oh, the traffic's hard here. Heavy traffic.
Oh, it is.
Looks like Sato's lost a few seconds, to be honest. That down to 3.5. Yeah.
He might have got held up when he was overtaking gear earlier. Gecko benefited from it.
You can also get the slipstream as well, especially with the GTEs, but the closing speed's very quick. You have to be aware. A few years ago, we real raced a few of the LMPs in GTE cars in real life.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of those things, those closing gaps can really come up quicker and bite these cars, but they're showing a lot of respect to the LMPH cars. They're flashing their lights early, and just trying to get their attention, even though the guys would probably know that they're coming up. Just making their intentions clear that they're looking at overtaking fairly soon rather than later, sooner than later.
Yeah, it's good to see. Jump on with Lockie here and see how he's going in the Toyota. See where he fares.
Yeah, 18 seconds there in front of, behind I should say, of Pegasus, so that's not too bad for the first session for Lockie. He's had a little bit of an incident. He had to stop for a while for damage repair, so that would have cost him some time.
He's been very consistent by himself as well. Punching out 320s.
10 seconds.
Yeah.
He's 10 seconds faster than Night Pegasus that previous lap, so he's definitely got the time to actually jump Night Pegasus before the end of this session. With just under 15 minutes remaining, doing 10 seconds a lap, he should be on him within the next lap, really. Probably 2 laps.
Plus, by the looks of it, Night Pegasus does also have a pit stop.
Did he pit earlier or not? He's still got a pit.
I think he still has to pit. You'll have to
he
pit.
does. He's got to come in. So there you go. So Lockie will get a free position gained here.
So he's probably going to come in close to coming in here. Getting through Porsche curves now.
Should still stay on the lead lap, live timing. So that's a good result for Pegasus. This is exactly what he wants to see. I think everyone would like to see that in their own class, to finish an hour without losing a lap within their own class. The opening session.
Yeah, definitely. It's a good result.
Here
he comes in now. This will be
so we'll just have a look and see what sort of time. Yeah, pretty much. We'll just see how long he's actually stationary for if we can. And we'll sort of see if he's had any damage, if any engine repair or anything like that. So I'm a bit wary about him always on that rev limiter on his up chain, like going up through the gears. Something you'll have to keep an eye on for the 2-hour session for sure, if it's creating some damage. That's Lockie going past. Yeah, there he goes. That's very fast. 10 seconds.
Yeah.
So it was a splash and dash. It's the fastest pit stop we've seen from the LMPH guys. And he comes out in front of Jetto too, and looks like one of the Timmy's just coming up the back. Should show respect to his big brother there in the bigger class and just follow him through.
Looks like it's still got a little bit of toe in as well.
Yeah, a little bit of damage, but I don't know if he's hit something again or if that's just from how they fixed up when he had the front bumper hanging and how they've repaired that.
Looks like he's got a slowdown there too.
Yeah. I just want to quickly bring up, because both Lockie and Night Pegasus and the Captain Cranky and Timmy have both got a penalty. We might, if you pick up those timings, we might be able to see those seconds that they got there. So Lockie with a 9-second penalty, and then Pegasus 4, and Cranky 1, which won't affect him, and then Timmy with a 4. So it's not too bad. They're going well. I think they're allowed up to 30 seconds in game before they get a drive through. So as long as they don't reach up over 30 seconds, they should be right.
Jetto by himself as well. Very quiet race now. Be very interesting to see the fuel loads coming into this, especially the last 10 minutes. They call that in the Ford seem very similar. They're all probably hovering around 15 litres.
Yeah.
You do get that extra lap. They wanted to ask the car to take to Sims.
Yeah, but yeah, definitely. So Jetto's got a 19-second lead, so he could start looking at this last 10 minutes just to back it off a little bit, coming into the corners, let it coast in off the straights.
Him and Captain Cranky are the only guys in the 350s at the moment. Everyone's back down to the 4 minutes.
Yeah, well, Jetto just did a 3:58, yeah, so he's still pushing.
Captain Crank at the 3:57.
Yeah, so he's got a 20-second
So
gap
he's
over second with Gear 3 game in there.
4-second gap to Metal Drive here, so he's closing.
Yeah, well, here we go. Will we see a little bit of fireworks near the end between these two, like we did at the opening laps?
It'd be interesting to know how the pushes has gone on with fuel as well, because they're normally just, so they're automatically there. They're 2 litres better off already.
Yeah, and they're basically around the same capacity, I think, as the Corvette and the Aston Martin, I think. So if that's the case, he's pretty good on fuel, Cranky, at the moment.
He's still closing by the looks of it. So.
Oh, he's closing very quickly on Metal Drive.
It's down to just under 3 seconds.
As we sort of saying though, you know, there's a lot comes into it. The fatigue levels, all that sort of stuff, concentration. So yeah, Metal Drive could be feeling the effects of the endurance here.
Looks like the Sato's about a 1.5 seconds quicker last lap as well, so he's out that gap to about 10.5 seconds. So Sato's just gone to 3:16.6 there.
Oh, he's stamping his authority on this race.
Okay. So Gecko's done a 3:22, so that's easy. 6 seconds gained in that lap there.
Yeah, he's pulled out, and yeah, either Gecko is just making sure he's having enough fuel, or just not pushing it too hard. Knowing that they've actually gone through this session unscathed, got a good position here with the time compression going to come into effect. It's probably only going to separate them only by about 12 to 15 seconds live time. So at the moment, 13 seconds difference. So if he keeps losing a bit of time each lap, well, you know, if that blows out to about 20 seconds, he will actually see himself probably around about 10 seconds or so behind, 8 seconds. So that's not too bad to start session 2, which will be a 2-hour session. And we'll be broadcasting that live here again around about 7:20 PM tonight.
So yeah, this battle here looks like they're actually closing in on Gears 3 Gaming as well, because he's only 4 seconds up the road here too. So these 3 are starting to conjoin.
Yeah, it's amazing. Every race that I see, a lot of our special events, our endurance sort of races, we always say that the race always comes alive that last 10 to 5 minutes. It's amazing how, you know, it can be boring, nothing really happening, and the cars just seem to come together. You know, little battles here and there. It's what's the beautiful thing about endurance racing. Some people like it, other people loathe it. They don't like it at all. They like their short, sharp racing.
So I've just got word from Aussie Carters there that the Block Gecko Audi has just been held up overtaking the GTE car through Porsche curves, which would explain the 6 seconds.
Okay, yeah. Ouch. But that's what happens, and these are the.
It'll happen to all of them at least once.
Yeah, the ebbs and flows of this long race. There are some parts where the LMPH cars, when you're driving the car, you just go, oh no, we're in the wrong spot here, we're going to get held up. But, you know, you just got to bide your time. You just got to have to put up with it. Hope the car in front, the next time he laps the car, he'll be in the same position as you were, and you get the run.
Yeah, definitely. So Captain Cranky's closed up even further here. It's about 1.5 seconds now, so that battle's going to be on very soon.
Yeah, and as we said, these guys take a lot of pride. It's just not saying, oh, well, we're finishing this first hour session, let's be careful. No, they want to get that position.
This is for effective third in class, so they will definitely be on.
Definitely.
Because he's only, they're all kind of catching up, because there's Metal Drive as well, so this is becoming spicy.
To go on falls, and Jetto's 4:02, unless they're sort of letting a few of the lap traffic falling behind with their times. But I think that would be interesting to know if they're just trying to conserve this fuel. They've made the decision that they don't want to do a splash and dash, and if that's the case, that's why these other cars are coming up to them, knowing the Porsche has better fuel economy than all of them.
Looks like Gecko's been held up again because it's a 3:26 next lap. That's twice in a row.
Yeah, and Sato's still getting the run of the money. I think Sato's probably cleared all the GTE cars now and have a few good clean laps.
To make matters worse, that looks like probably the fastest lap of the race with the 3:15.4. That's very fast.
Yeah, so I'm just back here, the guys watching the onboard footage. Aussie Carter's in their garage there of the A&M Racing. They're saying that it looks like the GTE cars, some of them are actually moving offline as they're trying to actually overtake, and there he's got some front aero damage.
Yeah,
he must have tagged one of the cars. So that's unfortunate. Yeah, so next driver briefing that they'll get the session 2, even though we've sort of informed a lot of them, is that the GTEs need to try and stick to their line. Try not to obviously move off the track, but just try and give them plenty of room. As we did see early on, some of the Porsches too, they really cramped up some of the LMPHs coming down the straight. There's no need for that. You know, you know that you're not coming to a corner. You can sort of get off the line a little bit. It's just the corners. We want the GTE cars just to be committed to a corner and just stick to their line.
There's a second between the two. Captain Cranky's made a mistake. He's dropped back 7 seconds.
Lloydie reckons there should be a $40,000 fine to the GTEs for moving offline. There you go. Definitely that will fix it pretty quickly.
25,000 suspended till the end of the year.
Maybe we could just tell.
Oh, they're both
here we go.
Pit lane.
Yeah.
Jetto's in pit lane as well. They're all in.
Yeah. Okay, they're all taking that opportunity. They've seen Jetto in. What happened to the Porsches? They fell off. Captain Cranky.
Oh, Captain Cranky's had an accident. Oh.
Well, maybe that might have been the incident with got Gecko. We're not too sure if Aussie Carter's can enlighten us there in the chat, but it looks like he's going to continue. Oh no, he's coming in at the last minute.
Lockie and Captain Cranky together overtaking. So there was an LMPH car that came out, so come out of that. Oh,
dicey. Here goes Lockie now. He's currently third in the LMPH class. Still on the same lap as the two Audis, as is Night Pegasus. Night Pegasus falling in the clutches, I think, and falling a lap down. We've only 2 minutes 50 remaining.
That's a lot of front end damage.
I think he's going to be in there for a bit of repair. So that's going to be very costly for Cranky.
2.5 seconds out of pits here, so possibly tyres. I don't think there'll be tyres on this late in the race. Just want a quick smash.
Nah, that's right. So what happened there? Jetto's still the leader. We've got Gear 3 Gaming still in front of Metal Drive, so that's all held
15
form.
seconds behind Gear.
The Gear they made up some times because Jetto was up over 20 seconds in front. I think he was.
Yeah,
and Gear now is only 12.
And Metal, I'd be interested to know if something's actually happened with Captain Cranky and Lockie there, because there was an LMPH that come flying around. Whether that's happened before or after.
Yeah, we just don't know. But anyway, race goes on. It looks like where's Sato at the moment? We'll just see if he's going to make up if he's on the last lap or not.
Sato is going down the lane. He's got all the cars.
Yeah, so this will be the last lap. So all the GTE guys will know that this is the last lap. Or they won't know, but we're telling the audience that it's the last lap. But yeah. So that's a relief for some of these guys with cars a little bit bruised and coming to the finish line. And it'll probably be a relief also for Night Pegasus, because I'd say where's Night Pegasus at the moment in relation to Sato? Very close.
He's also...
Oh, he's up.
Down the straight.
He's...
It's like he's a lap down.
He must be a lap down. Yeah, so the live timing's playing up. So he's actually a lap down. But he'll gain that lap back in the time compression, so no loss there.
I think Lockie may just stay in front of Sato here.
Yeah, he's coming now to the Porsche curves. I think he's got a little bit of breathing space.
So he's going to do a last lap. He'll be the last car across the line by the looks of it.
So it looks like he's just overtaken also Jetto, so that puts Jetto and everyone else the same lap down. So all the GTE cars will be, the same amount of laps down, or the leading lot anyway. Last year we actually had, I don't think it was last year, one year there I think we had Highlander or someone actually was able to stay in front of one of the LMPH cars before the LMPH car finished, so he actually pretty much gained a full lap on the GTE class. And that put a lot of guys further down than what really they were in real life, in the live timing, but we end up rehashing all that for this year. We found out a little mistake with our time compression. Here comes Sato to take first session in the great race by Sato.
Jump on board with Jetto.
Couldn't fault him.
Got to take the first for GTE.
Yeah, tremendous drive by Jetto in that number 26 Capriel. Now he's really brought that car home solidly for his teammate. Gear 3 game, he'll be happy there with the second. And right behind him will be Scott Gecko.
Scott Gecko goes through.
So yeah, to had a little bit of run-ins with the GT.
Oh, you can see the damage on the side of the car there.
Yeah, there's a wheel mark there. And then it looks like Metal Gear is finished third, which is a nice result from him. He's had a big battle with the Porsches all race.
There's Crappy, so he still managed to come in fourth here, Captain Cranky.
Yeah, it's, he'll be a bit annoyed with that mistake at the end, whatever happened. So
cars do get very light through Porsche curves. Doesn't take much for it to step out.
Nah. Well, Matty, what a session!
Yeah.
Oh, what an exciting session for the 2020 2020 version of this Le Mans 24 Hours. It's probably been one of the best we've had since we've run it.
Pace has been very high, to be honest. I wasn't expecting a lot of pushing. Everyone coming in for the splash and dash as well, especially the GTE guys. So everyone's come in.
Well, it just shows you how much they've been pushing, because last year there was cars that were able to make the hour without pitting. So they're definitely pushing a lot harder than what we've seen before.
It's 3:15 as well. That's qualifying pace. Sato's managed to replicate that in the race.
Exactly, and as you said, that these guys have the track is a technical track, so as we've run it more and more, you find those few tenths that make it go faster and faster, and it does show you it's more than just a few corners and long straights, that's for sure.
Yeah, you have to be committed through here, and any complacency will put you in the wall.
Yeah, any last little jerk of the steering wheel normally ends in tragedy. You normally
that's most tracks.
a meeting with a concrete barrier. Well done, Lockie. They're finishing still on the same lap, and don't want that to be happening in front of you. There goes around Timmy.
Oh, that's the last.
That looks a bit
last
second
lap
hand.
burnout.
Yeah, last lap burnout. Yeah, so there you go. Well, what an excitable finish with Lockie. We'd end up with a 12-second end of race penalty. So he had a few cut tracks there, making his way back through for third spot. But Sato, the man of the moment, finishing with a 3:15.2, the fastest man on track, and then got Gecko with a well-deserved second spot in that session with a time of 3:17 as well. So outstanding times by the two Audis, and Jetto again with a 357. Not quite the fastest. We're looking at Captain cranking the Porsche with a 357.264. It was just consistency that cost that Porsche. But Jetto kept it clean in the 26 Capriel Chevrolet, and I'm sure they'll go home very happy there with CMDR Series, I believe, probably taking the wheel tonight later on.
I can confirm he is.
Okay, so I'll just take a quick screenshot here. And is there a way that you can press your right trigger button at all and see if we can change those settings?
Yes.
If you do that, I think it might change. Does it happen for you or not?
Yeah, it does. Yep, I'm on changing it, yep.
Didn't do anything for me, I don't think.
Okay. Yeah, so I've got
Showing all
LMP
classes.
2016 GTE cars all by themselves.
Yeah, could you take a screenshot, please, for me of that, and then the one with just the GTEs, if it does that for me?
Yeah, can do.
That'd be good if you can just do that, and then we'll continue on. Sorry about that, guys, but yeah, so please, that's the end of this broadcast, and we will be back later on tonight at around 7:30, I'd say 7:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. That's New South Wales. So what are we now? We're 4:15. So you're probably looking at about 3 hours 15 minutes time from now. We'll be broadcasting live the second session, which will be a 2-hour session. And we look forward to your company. You'll have Matty Seeking in the seat, and hopefully he will be able to gather another fellow to help out with the stream, which will make it a little bit easier for the 2-hour session. And but yeah, I'd like to thank your time here, Matty, and I shall actually see you again in the commentary for the final session tomorrow. But until then, guys, cheerio, have a good afternoon, and we will see you in just over 3 hours' time. Thank you so much.